right, Pedals and Effects, round 2 of the Fuzz Off. And these are some of Jonathan's current favorites. Go for it, let them know what's up.
Okay, we got the old Boss Hyper Fuzz, which they don't make anymore.
No, I'm kidding. You can go to eBay.
But they're great. A lot of people like them, and yeah, you can find them, but they're just not as, you can't go to a Guitar Center right now and buy one. Found out about that from, I knew the great Joe Preston used it. Yeah, he loves super fuzzes and big muffs and fuzz just generally, and I know that I've heard that he's a fan of that one, so I gave it a shot, and I really like it. It's its own beast, so that's cool. Next is the Blackout Effectors. Yeah, that's how you say it. Right. Blackout Effectors, which is a great, just kind of streamlined big muff clone. It does its job well. This next one, the Fairfield
Circuitry.
Fairfield Circuitry FZ, what, 267? And then there's the fuzz section of the Pigtronix distortion. Now this thing has like a fuzz section and overdrive in this Octavia, distortion setting. You can run them separate or all together. You can do all kinds of stuff. All in one package, but we're concentrating on the fuzz setting on this. So. And
we'll go into it though, because I mean, again, like, this, if you do find it, I still think it's pretty affordable. I think this one's pretty affordable. This might get up a little more, and of course this is a little bit more, but it's because you're getting 3 types of effects. So like the Octavia is like what Hendrix would use when he would solo, it's an octave up. And then the overdrive, you can just use it as an overdrive. When you use all 3 in combination, it's a different thing. So you're getting more bang for your buck. So we're just trying to show you this whole array of stuff, and you can make the decision what you want. Like maybe you just want just one thing and it's a fuzz. Here, Jonathan's gonna play, and we're gonna just start messing with knobs and see what happens.
All right, first up is the Boss Hyper Fuzz.
Next up,
Musket.
That dude is ready to take off. Okay, here we go. Fairfield Circuitry. Give it a little bit more boost. It's not always fair. Again, like the last video we were saying, it's really hard to adjust the levels when you start dealing with fuzz and distortion, because you're misled by the frequency range that it's actually hitting. So even though something might be, having a fuller range that has a lot of low end, the little mid-ranger guys are going to project louder because of those frequencies, and your ears, hears them a little bit better. So here we go. We're going to hit this distortion. So again, like I know that you've used the Hyper Fuzz. You actually even gave me one as a birthday gift one time, and I really dig it. But what is it that you really were attracted to when you first started using it?
Well, one thing about it is that it has 3 different settings, and it has this kind of old Super Fuzz vintage setting, which is what I like. Was what I was using. Then you can switch it over to a kind of a more scoop, modern. I know a lot of the new metal guys use this because of this setting, which sounds like this. So the attack kind of comes through a little bit more than maybe a lot of them do, who are that high gain and saturated. Again, I would say a meat and potatoes fuzz, but it has a lot of extra stuff on it. The thing I like about this is that it has a mid-range knob. but just gives it some boost in the mid-range. Very similar to what the Eau Claire Thunder does. It has a mid button too. So it can kind of push it through a little more, because that's what happens with a lot of muffs is that they kind of, you know, they lose the mid-range. It's you know, kind of the EQ for some reason doesn't quite get it out of the mud all the time. And it gets lost in the mix. A lot of people have issues with muffs getting lost in the mix, and they're trying to combat that. I think the Dwarfcraft Eau Claire is also doing the same thing. So it's helpful. It's useful to have that. You can also just, you know, turn it off or turn it down and have more of a straight muff thing. So that's cool. This one is just interesting. It has this really extreme EQ setting. Let's see which knob was that we were messing with.
Because I always love when they have the option for an expression pedal. This one does. So like what we were doing with that filtering, yeah, it's over here on the side. Sometimes pedals don't have that, you know. Like I just go, why wouldn't you just throw that on there? But I guess again, it's probably money, and it's maybe they don't have the real estate inside the box to be able to fit something, you know, the circuitry for that. So, but this one does, and I really think that this one, yeah, I think the more time either you or I spend with it, it's gonna just deliver. Yeah, it'll be useful. I mean, it's just getting in there and figuring it out. Now, again, this is probably in the same department as the Oscillo Fuzz and all those, where it's not for every day for most people. Right. It might be for every day for us, I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely, I can hear a bunch of my noise friends like running things through that. Not even basses or guitars, but like tracks or whatever. It's just that EQ sweep is so, or that frequency sweep is so ridiculous. Drop that on Hella, you know? Yeah, right? Yeah. They would be like, yeah, that sounds tight. Use that pedal. So, exactly. But don't turn it off. Yeah, but if you're using this in Broken Bells, they might go, hey, can you skip that pedal? they would probably say that. And then the distortion. Distortion is just like a straight up, nice, thick fuzz, and it's probably kind of unfair to it to just, you know, we should probably kick some of the stuff on just to show. Okay, why don't we do that right now? You're right. You're right. Just like, let me just turn these up a little bit and just, I don't know, just kind of blast away. Just kind of an average setting on both of those. And then, that's with just the fuzz. Picking softer and the distortion opening up, that's a lot what happens. That effect really comes into play with Octavias. When you start doing it, I noticed that on like the Octavias by Tycho Brahe, which a lot of guys used to use because Hendrix used them, but man, I've used the Tycho Brahe one, and you really got to hit soft for that thing to sound this big. It's just, it works in the opposite of the way you would typically think. And I think the same thing with the distortion. The lighter you hit the string with the pick, the more that octave opens up, the range opens up. If you hit harder, it starts to compress it because the signal's so hot, it just squashes it. And so it's really all articulation in how you play. It's things that you have to be aware of. And so even like when Jonathan scratched the string right there, that even opened up a whole nother harmonic spectrum. So I really think that that's the things that you play with Fuzz. Fuzz is such a delicate kind of thing. I mean, distortion to me is a little bit more streamlined. It hits you, distortion, you have some of that interplay, but Fuzz, man, it's because it's filtering, it's overdrive, it's distortion, it's all this harmonic content, and it all reacts to the way you play. So, like, you know, go ahead and play, and let's just play a little softer, and we'll play softer and click in between all four of them, and you'll hear the different tones of us playing soft.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Jonathan said he was barely hitting, and you can see he is. And again, that's a whole synth sound. So imagine, even though it's lower in volume, but if you're recording that and you put it up in the mix, it's going to sound like a synth. It's going to have that sustain and the kind of you know, oscillation that a Moog has. And you know, even on fretless, it would probably have all those in between harmonic content. But go ahead, play that soft, and I think that sounds like that. It would be chord great. Because now I'm going to get a musket.
That might be the use for it. Right?
I borrowed this before, and I didn't. Again, like we were saying too, you start messing with the pedal, then you get juiced up about it. Now I got to get a musket, where I borrowed it before, and I was like, it's cool, but I think I was always just hitting really hard. And
your octave, the brown octave into that one. So. Turn the gain all the way down, and that's what you have. That's how high gain this thing is.
Let's see what the high streak says. I'm glad you got me. So anyway, just cover it again. Hyper Fuzz, Boss. The Musket by Blackout Effectors. It's by Fairfield Circuitry. And this is the Distortion by Pigtronix. You can read more on their websites. I'll put links on the pedalsandeffects.com so you can just go right to them. And this is stage 2 of the Fuzz off, and we have some more. We have probably another 3 rounds, 4 rounds worth. And of course, if your companies who make fuzzes, you want to send me and Jay some fuzzes, feel free to do so. Care of Pedals and Effects. All right,
We'll
cool, man. It's all in the name of education and fuzz research. All right, cool. Pedalsandeffects.com. Jonathan, Juan.